was once framed as radical rhetoric of personal transformation has now been clearly demonstrated to be an instruction manual for compliance. So let's unpack the hidden machinery. Each beatitude carries a promise. Theirs is the kingdom, they shall be comforted, they shall inherit the earth. That sounds liberating on the surface to the uncritical mind. But as we've seen, those same promises enforce a psychology of brokenness, grief, and meekness, turning inner turmoil into a spiritual virtue. The result is not freedom, but a learned passivity. The believer's mind is conditioned to accept suffering as sacred and obedience as the only rightful response. And please consider the implications of such. If I believe it is my natural default state to suffer, then what do I believe about the suffering of others? It's paradoxical that we lionize Jesus as the ultimate revolutionary, even while his own teachings normalize subjugation. Over millennia, ruling authorities from imperial Rome to feudal lords to modern religious and governmental hierarchies have seized on these words to pacify dissent. What was once framed as radical rhetoric of personal transformation has now been clearly demonstrated to be an instruction manual for compliance. For 2,000 years, the downtrodden have clung to these promises, seeing in them a flicker of hope amid tyranny. Yet that same language that was said to inspire endurance instead stunted collective action. Generations raised on the rhythm of blessed are they who mourn found their tears sanctified, but their outrage diffused. The rhetoric of blessing became the velvet glove that concealed the iron fist of control. Far from a blueprint for social reform, the Beatitudes map out an inner journey away from worldly engagement. At best, they divert attention into pious reflection. At worst, they shepherd entire populations into docile acceptance of injustice. The promise of future reward outweighs any incentive to challenge present wrongs, turning outrage into obeisance. When these teachings take root, they recast agency as arrogance and curiosity as cursed. Entire communities, comforted in their passive faith, opt for ignorance as bliss, unaware of their power to reshape society. Responsibility is then outsourced to divine promise, and capacity for change is willingly surrendered to institutional interpreters. In the end, the very words we hail as blessed become the chains that bind.